Far beyond the familiar stars, deep in the cold void of space, a message traveled faster than any Starship-an urgent call from a small blue planet called Earth. For many years, the various alien coalitions that ruled distant galaxies had watched Earth with little interest, dismissing humanity as weak, disorganized, and primitive. They saw Earth as an unimportant speck, a minor player in the vast cosmic stage, not worthy of their time or effort. These alien groups, powerful and ruthless, had built great empires by conquering weaker worlds, but Earth never seemed like an easy target. Their advanced technology and massive fleets made most of their enemies bow quickly. Yet over decades, small attacks began to disturb the calm around Earth. Outposts established near valuable resources-rich asteroids. Rare minerals and energy-rich planets were suddenly and violently struck. These attacks were small but calculated, clearly designed to test Earth's defenses. At first, Earth's leaders hoped to keep peace, believing the alien factions would eventually lose interest. What a diplomacy could resolve the tensions. But the strikes became more frequent, more brutal, and harder to ignore. Panic spread through Earth's councils, and fear whispered in the ears of commanders. As a peaceful, hidden planet was over, as the attacks continued, Earth's leaders faced a difficult decision. The humans had always valued peace, diplomacy, and the hope that they could rise as a civilized people in the eyes of the universe. But now, faced with the possibility of destruction, the leaders knew they had to send a message so clear, so strong, that no one could misunderstand it. After long nights of debate and preparation, Earth's brightest minds and most trusted voices came together to broadcast a final warning to the alien coalition. The message was short, but powerful. Stop attacking, or we stop pretending to be civilized. This statement was unlike anything the galaxy had ever heard from Earth before. It was calm, but firm, a promise wrapped in a warning. It meant that humanity was ready to abandon its attempts at peaceful diplomacy and show the full strength of its resolve if attacked again. When the message reached the alien leaders, it caused a shockwave of disbelief and confusion. Many could not believe that these humans, whom they had considered weak and disorganized, would dare to threaten them so openly. Some laughed, thinking it a bluff. Others grew angry, seeing it as an insult. The Alien Council held urgent meetings, arguing whether to ignore the warning or to respond with overwhelming force. To doubt their earlier judgments of humanity. They had underestimated Earth's people, and this mistake might cost them dearly. Meanwhile, on Earth, the people watched and waited. The message was out, and there was no turning back. Citizens of all nations, once divided by old conflicts, felt a surge of unity and determination. For the first time in many generations, humanity stood together with a shared purpose, not just to survive, but to defend their home with every ounce of strength they had. Secret programs that had been developing advanced technology in silence now revealed their existence. Experimental ships, capable of incredible speed and firepower, were deployed. Engineers worked around the clock to improve defenses. The scientists' eyes burned with the knowledge that Earth's future was uncertain and that every moment counted. As the hours passed, distant sensors detected alien fleets moving toward the outer edges of the solar system. Would the aliens heed the warning and retreat? Or would they press their attack, forcing humanity to fight back without holding back? In these tense hours, Earth's leaders sent messages to their people, asking for patience and courage. They reminded everyone that this was a turning point in human history. The silent threat from the stars had become a clear challenge, and humanity's response would define its place in the universe forever. The stage was set for a clash not only of weapons, but of wills, where the survival of Earth and its people depended on their ability to stand firm and prove that they were more than just a backwater planet. The final warning was sent, but the story was only beginning. In the shadows of space, eyes watched closely, waiting for the next move. The question hung in the cold vacuum. Would the galaxy witness the rise of humanity as a force to be reckoned with, or would Earth fall silent under the weight of a powerful enemy? The answer lay in what came next, in the hearts of those who called Earth home. Back on Earth, as the alien coalition prepared for what many believed would be an easy conquest. Before, scientists, engineers, and strategists across the planet worked tirelessly, driven by the knowledge that their survival depended on more than just hope. They needed real, powerful tools to protect their world. The divisions that had long separated nations, old rivalries, political disagreements, and distrust started to fade as people focused on a single goal: defending Earth from the coming storm. Secret research facilities, once hidden deep underground or floating in orbit, revealed breakthroughs that had been years in the making but never fully trusted to be ready. New weapons were developed, unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Adaptive combat suits, made from smart materials that could change shape and repair themselves in battle, gave soldiers abilities once thought impossible. These suits enhanced speed, strength, and resilience, allowing human fighters to survive in environments that would have been deadly before. Meanwhile, Earth's engineers unveiled advanced AI-driven warships, controlled by intelligent systems that could learn from the enemy's tactics in real time, making each encounter unpredictable and dangerous for attackers. These ships moved with speed and precision, striking before enemies could react and retreating before they could be caught. But perhaps the most shocking innovation was the energy weapons, which used new methods of harnessing power to deliver devastating strikes that could disable enemy ships without destroying entire fleets. These weapons showed that humans had mastered technology far beyond what anyone outside Earth had guessed. As the alien coalition massed their forces in distant space, confident in their numbers and past victories, they were unaware of the storm gathering beneath their eyes. Earth's military commanders planned a surprise counterattack, aiming directly at the coalition's forward bases, key supply points, and staging areas that supported their invasion forces. Human forces, equipped with their new technology and fighting with fierce determination, struck with precision and speed. The alien outposts, once thought nearly invincible, crumbled under the unexpected assault. The shock waves of this counterstrike rippled through the coalition, shaking their confidence and forcing them to rethink everything they thought they knew about humanity. No longer could they see Earth as a fragile, divided planet. The illusion of weakness had been shattered. People who had feared the worst now dared to believe that victory was possible. Stories of heroic pilots flying adaptive suits into battle and commanders outsmarting vast fleets spread quickly, inspiring everyone from the youngest children to the oldest leaders. But even as celebrations began, Earth's defenders knew the fight was far from over. The alien coalition was powerful and relentless, and this counterstrike would only make them angrier. The next battles would be tougher and more dangerous. Still, the message had been sent loud and clear. Earth was no longer a quiet, helpless planet waiting to be conquered. It was a force that demanded respect, and any who dared to attack would face consequences unlike anything they had imagined. The shattered illusion of weakness became a beacon of hope and a warning that changed the course of the war. Across the galaxy, whispers spread about the strange and determined species on Earth, people who would fight not just for survival, but for their right to be recognized as equals. The alien leaders, once dismissive and mocking, now studied Earth's every move with a mixture of caution and fear. They understood that underestimating humanity had been a grave mistake. And so, the stage was set for an even greater clash, where strength, strategy, and willpower would collide in a battle that would decide the fate of not only Earth, but the entire galaxy. Humanity had shattered the illusion, and there was no turning back. As the war spilled beyond Earth's orbit and into the vast expanse of multiple star systems, the alien fleets, despite their overwhelming numbers and advanced technology, began to face a challenge unlike any they had encountered before. Humans, once dismissed as disorganized and weak, proved to be masters of unpredictability and innovation. Their tactics did not follow the usual patterns of warfare seen across the galaxy. Instead, they adapted quickly, changing strategies with remarkable speed and surprising their enemies at every turn. The alien commanders, who had grown accustomed to icily crushing their foes with sheer power and intimidation, found themselves outmaneuvered time and again by small, agile human strike teams that struck deep behind enemy lines and vanished. Without a trace, human forces used guerrilla tactics in space, ambushing supply lines, sabotaging communication networks, and exploiting weaknesses the aliens hadn't thought to protect. Earth's message, civilized restraint, is a choice, not a weakness, reverberated through the minds of every alien leader and soldier involved in the conflict. It was a reminder that humans had deliberately held back their full power for years, pretending to be less capable, hoping for peace. But when pushed too far, they were ready to defend themselves with a ferocity that shocked their enemies. This message created a division within the alien coalition itself. Some leaders began to see humanity not just as a threat to be destroyed, but as a race worthy of respect, capable of standing alongside the greatest powers in the galaxy. In secret, an alien diplomat reached out to Earth's leaders, proposing a meeting to discuss peace. This rare gesture surprised many on Earth, who had prepared for a long and brutal war. The diplomat's message was clear. There were voices within the coalition that feared the destruction this war could bring and hoped to avoid further bloodshed. Yet, not everyone in the alien ranks shared this desire for peace. Hidden factions. Within the coalition, those who thrived on conflict and conquest saw humanity's rise as a direct challenge to their dominance and refused to back down. They believed that only by continuing the war could they maintain control over the galaxy and prevent Earth from becoming a powerful rival. These factions worked quietly to sabotage the peace talks, sending spies and assassins to disrupt negotiations and spread misinformation. Earth's leaders were cautious, but willing to listen, aware that any chance for peace was worth exploring, even if danger lurked beneath the surface. The galaxy held its breath as representatives from both sides prepared to meet, knowing that the outcome of this meeting could change everything. Would the alien coalition break apart, torn between war and peace? Could humanity prove that their message of restraint and strength was genuine? Or would the hidden factions drag the galaxy into even darker times? Throughout this uncertain period, Earth's people remained united and vigilant, ready to face whatever came next. Their courage and determination inspired stories that spread quickly, stories of brave pilots who outflew entire fleets, scientists who built impossible machines, and diplomats who sought peace in the face of war. As the day of the meeting approached, tension filled the air, but so did hope. The war had reached its turning point, and the galaxy was watching, waiting to see if humanity's bold message would lead to peace or push everyone into a battle more fierce than ever before. The future of countless worlds hung in the balance, shaped by the choices made in the shadows and on the front lines. Humanity had proven it was no longer the weak species many had believed it to be. It was a rising force, unpredictable and unstoppable when united. Now, at this critical moment, everything depended on what came next. As the war grew fiercer, Earth's skies and space lanes became battlegrounds of relentless struggle. And though the human population suffered significant losses, their spirit remained unbroken. Each strike against their home or fleets was met with renewed determination to fight harder, to survive not just for themselves but for future generations who deserved to live free. The people of Earth showed extraordinary resilience, quickly learning to adapt to the harsh realities of this interstellar conflict. They took the enemy's own tactics, ambushes, stealth attacks, overwhelming numbers, and turned them back with clever countermeasures and bold innovations. New training programs pushed soldiers and pilots to their limits, honing instincts and skills that made them unpredictable and deadly. Civilian industries transformed into war machines, producing not just weapons, but support systems that kept the population safe and ensured that no effort was wasted. Yet amidst this fierce resistance, Earth's leaders faced deep and difficult questions behind closed doors. How far could they push their message of no more pretending before it changed who they were as a people? Was there a line they should not cross? A point at which survival would cost them their humanity? These debates grew more urgent as the fighting intensified, and the alien coalition responded with larger, more devastating assaults. The leaders knew the stakes were higher than ever when intelligence revealed that a massive alien warship, true giant of destruction, was heading straight toward Earth's most populated regions. This warship was unlike anything Earth's forces had faced before, bristling with weapons, capable of leveling entire cities, and defended by shields thought nearly impenetrable. Destroying it would be no easy task, and failure meant catastrophic losses. In the face of this threat, a daring plan was crafted. A small, specially trained fleet of human pilots and engineers volunteered for what was known as a sacrificial mission. Their goal was to infiltrate the enemy's defenses and disable the warship from within, knowing full well the dangers they faced and that many might never return. The mission demanded every ounce of courage, skill, and selflessness the volunteers could muster. As the fleet approached the enemy ship, they moved like shadows, slipping past patrols and automated defenses. Inside the warship, chaos and destruction unfolded as the humans set explosives at critical points, targeting the ship's power core and weapon systems. The mission was a success, but the cost was heavy. Many heroes gave their lives to save. Countless others, their sacrifice remembered as a turning point in the war. This victory proved that while humanity was willing to fight fiercely and defend itself, it did not lose sight of the value of life, both its own and that of its enemies. The story of the sacrificial mission spread quickly across Earth and beyond, strengthening resolve and inspiring hope even in the darkest times. Yet the leadership's internal struggle continued. They knew that to survive, they had to balance strength with compassion, strategy with mercy. The message of no more pretending was powerful, but it was not a call to abandon the principles that made humanity unique. The war was far from over, and Earth faced challenges that would test not only its defenses but its very soul. This crucible of fire and sacrifice, humanity was learning what it truly meant to be strong, not just through weapons and technology, but through the choices it made in the face of overwhelming odds. The price of survival was high, but Earth was determined to pay it without losing what made it worth fighting for. After months of brutal conflict that tested every ounce of humanity's strength and will, the alien coalition found itself fractured and shaken. Its once unified front cracked by the unexpected ferocity and honor shown by Earth's defenders. The aliens, who had long viewed humans as weak and disorganized, now faced a new reality, one in which Earth was no longer the planet to dismiss or conquer with ease. The fierce resistance, combined with the selfless sacrifices and clever strategies, forced many within the coalition to reconsider their position. Factions that had favored continuing the war reluctantly agreed to a ceasefire, fragile but necessary, to avoid further losses that neither side could afford. This tentative peace was a turning point, not just for Earth but for the entire galaxy. Humanity's message that they would no longer hide behind a false image of civility when threatened, but instead stand proud, unyielding, and ready to defend their home by any means necessary, had changed the balance of power. The era of underestimating humans was over. Across Earth, people from all walks of life watched and listened as their leaders prepared a final transmission to send across the stars. Unlike the earlier warnings filled with anger and resolve, this message was different. It was a declaration of who humanity truly was, not just a species willing to fight, but one that embraced its strength and identity with dignity. "We are here, we are strong, we are civilized in our own terms," the message said, ringing out across space with clarity and pride. It was a statement that carried the weight of countless sacrifices and hard-won lessons. This declaration echoed in the minds of alien commanders and diplomats alike, forcing them to acknowledge that Earth had claimed its place among the galaxy's great powers. Yet the new era was not just about strength in battle. It was about respect for oneself, and for others, and about choosing when to fight and when to seek peace. The people of Earth understood that true civilization was measured not only by power, but by the choices made in moments of crisis. As the ceasefire held, tentative talks began between Earth's leaders and representatives of the alien coalition. These talks were difficult and filled with tension, but they offered hope for a future where coexistence might be possible. Both sides knew trust would take time to build, but the fact that they were willing to meet marked a hopeful step forward. On Earth, the scars of war remained visible, but so did the resilience and unity born from the struggle. New alliances formed, and efforts to rebuild and improve life for all took shape. Humanity's place in the galaxy had been secured not through submission or fear, but through courage, ingenuity, and an unwavering commitment to stand tall. As the stars shone brightly above the blue planet, the people of Earth looked to the future with cautious optimism. The war had tested their limits and changed them forever, but it had also revealed their true strength, the strengths that came from the heart, from a shared belief in their right to live free and proud. In the silence that followed the final transmission, a new chapter began, one where Earth was no longer hidden in the shadows, but shining boldly as a beacon of hope, resilience, and a civilization defined not by others, but by its own terms.